Hello, my name is Andre Davis. Hello, my name is Andre Maurice Davis, and today we are going to go over the forward stance or the front stance. The stance where our one leg is forward and our other leg is behind us. So the forward stance is made up of your front leg, whether that be your right leg or your left leg in this case, forward, bent at the knee, and our weight is going to come down onto our feet into 3 anchor points. 1, 2, 3. The first anchor point being just between your big toe and the next toe at the top knuckle. The second anchor point being between your pinky toe and the toe next to that at the top knuckle. And your third anchor point being at your heel. So as you put your weight onto those 3 anchor points evenly distributed, you're going to move your knee so that it's over your ankle, and we're going to turn our hip so that our belly button is in the same direction as our knee. So all our weight's down there, or most of our weight, we're supporting the rest of the weight on our back leg. And our back leg, we're going to try to straighten out. And we're going to bring it as a kickstand, making sure that our weight's still down on this. We turn our hips in, readjust there, and then we can slowly sink down so that our knee stays over our ankle, our weight's still going down there, and we're really going to feel it on our legs right at the waistline here. So as we try to stabilize that and turn into it, that's where we're going to feel it turn. So as we go, we're going to feel our back leg straighten out almost naturally. You're going to have to slide, you may slide a little bit as you adjust, but as we turn and sink our hips down, our back leg wants to come out. So once we get it to a point where we want to really grip it down, our weight's still pushed down into our anchor point here, but now we're going to start focusing our weight on the back. So we can start driving a little bit of weight back here so that it doesn't slide, our foot doesn't slide back anymore. So right now I'm wearing some sandals just on this floor to kind of show that as I push, my foot doesn't slide back as easily as it was before, now that I have some weight being pushed back on it. So again, my weight's still being just pushed down evenly those 3 anchor points. So this is pushing a brace here, solid. This is pushing back, there's another brace there. And our weight, maybe about 60% of our weight is up front, maybe about 40% of our weight is out back, adjusted a little bit as you tense different muscles in your legs, shift your, or rotate your hips. We want to rotate our hips so that it's pointing forward, our belly button's pointing forward, our hips are lined up, and then we have a solid base. So if somebody were to push back on me, this is stopping that force from going back. It's a solid. Going side to side, it's a little bit of a balancing act where we want to make sure that our legs aren't too narrow. We want to have it at a comfortable width so that we have some stability, especially as, again, we can get knocked over side to side very easily. The wider we have it, but we can also have a broad stance so that we can take that stance, that impact the force coming at us. So imagine you're getting hit by a punch. If you get hit by that punch, you're not going to be staggered back. You'll hit that, your legs will absorb that impact, and you'll just kind of stay there, take it, or do whatever you need to do after that, if you wanted to look at it in that case. So if we come up from that, shake out our leg a little bit, and then we can go down to the other side, and we'll break it down a little bit again. So if we start standing with our head, with our feet about shoulder width apart, and if I go for the side view, standing straight up, and we were with our left foot forward the first time, we'll bring our right foot forward this time, and we'll just step out. We'll bend that knee, and we'll bring this leg back a little bit. And then, so now I can move side to side comfortably over my ankles. I'm not wobbling, so this is a good test to see if you're too narrow or short. If we think about a shorter or a narrower stance, think about it on a tightrope. So if this is a tightrope, we have a little bit of instability. But if I step out just a little bit, I've got some more stability. But if I start rocking on my ankles, still a little wobbly. If I step out a little bit more, I can do this much more comfortably. So find that distance for you, that balance, where you're able to move around on your ankles like this without, wobbling all over the place. So with that in mind, we'll start again. So we'll start standing up straight. We'll just take one step forward, bend our knee forward a little bit, take our other leg and just kind of slide it back, rest down with the thought process of similar to our horse stance where we're sinking our hips down low. Think of that this way, just sink your hips. And then you're gonna feel your knee move out. Some key points to look at when we do this is our knees should be over our toes, or we shouldn't see our toes. So if my knee's back like this, I can see my toes if I look down. All I have to do is bend my knee forward, and I don't see my toes. So that's what I'm looking for. Ideally, I want my leg to be pretty straight here as a solid post. And I want my back leg to be straight, and I want my back foot to be either forward or slightly pointed out. We don't want this pointed straight out in a 90 degree to this foot. We want to have it as close to parallel to it as is comfortable. You'll find as you get comfortable with your stance and with whatever you're doing in your stance, it'll adjust a little bit. But once we settle in there, we make sure that our hips are pointed forward. We make sure that our belly button is in line with our knee. And then we settle into our stance. So our weight is distributed over those 3 points, 3 anchors on the front, and then 60% up front, and then 40% out back onto our back foot, bracing ourselves for any sort of impact coming down this way. And then we can stand up. And then that is the front stance. So go ahead, practice that. Really, you're gonna work on your hamstrings. You're gonna feel it in there. You're gonna work on your inner thigh muscles here, and then you're gonna really work on rotating your hips because your hips may be tight. So to stand like this is probably a natural stance, but to turn that hip in really activates some muscles that you may not be used to, especially the glutes, again, your hamstrings and your inner thighs, and then some of your outer thighs as well. But play around with it, stretch out your legs, make sure you're staying warm when you're doing it, don't hurt yourself. But yeah, if you have any questions, certainly reach out to us over here at Mandala Sun. We're happy to walk you through anything or come on down to the studio and we'll have a great old time. Thanks, bye. All right, I had wanted to test I did test some communication stuff on their Discord and trying to jump on with my other account so I could listen on my phone and maybe join in that way. But for whatever reason, I couldn't get the sound to come through onto. Oops, there's the sound. Yeah, I couldn't get the sound to come through to my phone from what was going on here. So we'll figure that out at some other point in time. So if anybody knows, let me know. That'd be great. All right. So what we're gonna do is go over Adobe Premiere. We're going to use that video that was just playing, the front stance demonstration, unedited. If you watch that whole video all the way through, you'll see that there were a couple takes I had done, and then some clipping at the end that needs to be taken care of. We could mess around with the sound as well, so maybe we'll do that. I'm not. The sound really ought to be much better than it is, but I kind of went in with the expectation that it came out as it does. Sound is something that I struggle with. So if you've got some better ways to manage sound, let me know. But yeah, I guess we'll do what we can with the sound, just because why not? So I have Adobe Creative Cloud first of all. We'll open that up just so that'll be the starting point. Because if you have Adobe Premiere, perhaps you have Adobe Cloud, Creative Cloud, which I hope you do, because it gives you a wide variety of applications to use for creativity. I use Adobe Express all the time, Photoshop, and Premiere Pro. Those are my three primary ones. I've played around with Audition. That's the sound, so we'll take care of the sound with Audition. And I want to get into Animate. I haven't done that yet. I got to make time to do that. But there's all kinds of programs on here that for the amount, right now I pay somewhere between $600 and $700 a year. But for the amount of time that I spend using it, it's super well worth it. And if you're using it for, to create content that you're making money off of, I think the investment's there. There's even the smallest things that you can do in these programs are, from what I've found, seem to be pretty big asks of people. It's very similar to if you're familiar with Microsoft Excel. To be able to make a pivot table is God level for some people. But to be able to make a pivot table is very easy for other people. It's just a matter of taking time to learn the product. So the product that we are learning to use today, though, is Adobe Premiere, though. I already have it open. Right here. So this is Adobe Premiere, and when you open it up, this is the kind of welcome screen that you have. You can create a new project by doing that, by clicking here. You can open a project that you've already worked on. These are some projects that I've had open before. Let's just actually look at one that's already done. I didn't do a whole lot on this one, so this will be a good one, I think. Actually, you know what? Let's do... Oh, I didn't do it on this computer. All right, yeah, let's open this one. There's one, I made a video the other day, but I didn't put it on here, so that one had a few different elements. This one only has the video itself. I didn't even... Is this the whole thing? No. Yeah, this is trimmed up. Introduction. Okay, so this is one clip that I made out of a longer video. So this is 1 minute and 27 seconds worth of a video from, I think it was a 30-minute class. So if we look at it, so this is the clip that I took out of it. So if we look at what's made up of, this is what you see down here. So it's, if I move it ahead, you'll see this moves ahead back and forth. This can be separated into different tracks. So this is the video track. This is the audio track. I could be saying those terminologies wrong, but these are the two different things that can be separated, but you can link to selection. So now if I click on one, it'll click both of them, because there's only one in here. But if we were to cut this up or put in another one, and I wanted to take the video track and the audio track and move them together, or if I just want to take one or the other, sometimes it's easier to link them to remember to do it. Sometimes it's not. In any case, over here is the media. So what we're dropping in. In this case, we only had a video, which I believe is this one. No, this one. Nope. This one. No, I'm not real sure. I think I may have cut this out anyway. But in any case, these are the media files here. And once you take your media file, you put it into your sources up here. Excuse me. And then from your sources, we don't have any clips in here, I think, because I've already moved it and it couldn't find it. I think that's what happened. But in any case, if we wanted to, we'll go through it. But and then the other thing we can do with it is get transcriptions. We don't have a clip up in here in the sources for it to transcribe, but that's where you may have noticed it when I first opened it. It had transcriptions there, or yeah, a transcription there, or some text at least that you may have noticed. And then that's about it. We can, so with the media, this is video, audio, but we can also add images to it, text. We can add text. And we'll do that in the example that we use. So let's start a new project. And what we can do is name it now. So this is what, front stance demonstration? Front stance demonstration. All right. So, here's that transcription. All right. So we've got the front stance demonstration project here. It gets a little bit confusing for me in these windows, especially when you open up or you start a new project while another project's open, because all this stuff stays there. There's likely easier ways to manage that, but this is typically I wouldn't have opened up that other one before, but I wanted to show you that. So you're going to import your media, and you can do that through the button. I like to just drag and drop whenever I can. We can here. So you drag it, drop it, and it's easy as that. So in here now, we can go to our sources, and you see there's no clips. If we click here on a little hamburger menu, you get options wherever you're at. And here, in this case, whatever sources we have loaded would show up listed here, and we can select them. Right now, you can see no clips. It's easy to do, though. We just click, drag it, and drop it, and then we have our clip. So here, we'll want to close this, I think. No. How do we do this? So because this is stuck from the last one, we don't want to use this. Okay, there we go. Now we're clean. So the timeline has no sequences right now. Program has no sequences. We're back to square one. So this is the video that we've got, and if we hit play, it'll play it. Move, play. And we're gonna bring it as a kickstand.
This space up here is nice because what we can do is do our cutting. So I know that there's a take in the beginning that I want to get rid of, and I know that I want to trim up the end at least. So why don't we do that? So this marker, or this, I guess marker it would be called, this thing, this slider, we're gonna slide around, and we can place markers that make it a little bit easier to navigate. So if I right click on this, I can say mark in, mark out, mark split. I don't use these. Or add marker. I don't use add marker that often. It's something I want to get into it. Chapter marker. It's basically, this is just a way to say this is where things are. For our purposes, for my purposes, I'm going to use mark in and mark out. So I find where I want to mark in, which will be where I want to start. And I want to start as I come in. So I'm going to find that spot right about here, let's say. And if I right click, hit mark in, there. So I'm going to slide, that video goes all the way to the end, and then I'm going to end it when I exit. So we'll say here or here. Sure. And we can play with that later. So now I've got an in and out. So that's the clips I want to go to. So if I drag, whatever I drag is going to be just within that in and out section. I can go to the beginning and the end if I want to. If I go to in, if I right click and then click go to in, that's going to bring the selector here and I can move around there. If I go to out, oops, actually, so this is a good point. I accidentally hit mark out, so I screwed up, but I hit Control Z, and that just undoes it. And it goes back to where it is. But what I wanted to say was go to out, and I go to out. There. So we have that, and I want, in this case, both the audio and video, so I can just click and hold and drag and drop. And that brings both the audio and video. However, there are many times where I only want the video or I only want the audio. And these two buttons down here will allow you to do that. So if I want to just drag the video, I can drag this one. If I want to just drag the audio, I can just drag that one. So that would look like this. And this is just the video. And now if I play this, my voice is gone. But hit Control Z. If I just drag in the audio, and I can play this.
Hello, my name is Andre Maurice Davis, and
the video's
today
gone. Stop that. Control Z. But we want them both, so I'll drag them both, and whoops, drop it down here. So actually, let's take a step back because I'm not going to put a whole lot of stuff in here, but let's say in terms of how you bring things in and kind of the helpful tools, this slider here, this marker, is a good place to, if it snaps to those places. It snaps to grids in places. So if I take this, I bring it in, I can put it to the beginning, quickly snaps there. But say I wanted at that marker space exactly, as I bring it closer, it'll snap right to it and I don't have to adjust it. If I've got a gap here, I can use right click and ripple delete and it'll bring everything over. So those are a couple quick tips. So now that I've got this in here.
Hello, my name is Andre Maurice Davis.
Audio and video. And we decided that I needed the audio to be fixed. I wanted the audio fixed. It seems a little bit quiet. So what I can do is right click and go to edit clip in Adobe Audition. And then it's going to open up Adobe Audition. So this, when I did this the first time, I feel like I had to do some sort of setup. Not a lot of setup, but I feel like there was some settings that I need to look at. So, if it works, great. If it doesn't, recognize that. I can't quite remember, but let me know and we'll figure out how to fix that. So this is the audio tracks. I need to figure out the audio recording because this is 2 tracks. I only need one of them. Although this is left and right, so maybe I could, I don't know sound. Anyway, the things I want to mess with are the loudness settings and the effects. So the loudness settings, we take the wave file and we click it and we drag it and we drop it. And these are set up to -18 LUFS. LUFS is the recommended setting for YouTube based on a video I watched. So I'm not, that's based on just searching on YouTube. There may be better ways to do it. I would recommend it. Again, I'm still learning the audio. The other thing is the effects, effects rack. And I have a template set up, but the hard limiter and the tube modeled compressor I got to look at some videos I made before to figure out which we're supposed to do first. I think I need to do this first, and then I do the loudness a couple times maybe. But in any case, the hard limiter has specific settings. They need to be -1, 0, 7, and 100 for the hard limiter going down, and the -12, 0, 3, 10, 100. -12 is the only thing you change in this, I think, the threshold for the tube model compressor. For more information on that, though, I found that on YouTube through somebody who said these were the effects that they used, and it seemed to work for me when I've done it correctly. So I set that as a template, and you can, or a preset, and you can create a preset pretty easily. Yeah. So once you like set a rack, and then you click this button here, save. Oops. Save effects rack as preset, and it'll give you like the name. So I've already named this YouTube. It's already done. Cancel. All right. I'll hit apply. And then we'll go to the sound again. Match loudness. And then we'll run this. I think this kind of brings it up to its louder level, I believe. Yeah. And I think if we play this, it should sound better.
Hello, my name is Andre Maurice Davis, and today...
Still got echo on it. I don't really know how to fix that, though. So we'll hit, we'll save that. So we can just X out of it. I think if I actually save it, it doesn't make a difference. Close out of it. There. And now we see that the audio is different. It's a little bit more fuller. They've made it louder, it looks like.
Hello, my name is Andre Maurice Davis, and today we are going to go over...
And that's fine. So, let's do one blackouts. So I want to add a fade out, so a transition, and we can do that by coming over to the end and right clicking and hit apply default transitions. So now there's going to be, that you can't really see right here, a little fade out box, which will indicate when a blackout will start. So the screen will start fading to black at a certain point. So if we want to see a little bit closer, we can adjust this bar down here at the bottom. So this will zoom in and out. So if we click and hold and drag it, make the bar smaller, it zooms in. If we make the large bar outer, click and drag the bar outward, it zooms out. So in to zoom in, out to zoom out. So if we bring this to the end now, we're zoomed in, we can see where the cross dissolve goes. So this should be a fade to black, right? So there. So we can do when we want to start that. I want to start that earlier. Start that maybe here. So going back to what I was saying about the, I want to zoom out a little bit at the end. So what I was saying about this being used as a snap to grid. Now if we take this, we see this, our icon changes. We've got another way to grab. So we'll pull that out and it goes snaps. Oh no, this didn't snap. This makes me a liar, but we can bring it over to there. This, I'm not real sure. I mean, this is audio, so it fades out the audio, but our audio's already dropped out pretty much at that point. So if we bring it back a little bit, hit play.
We'll have a great old time. Thanks, bye.
There, and I want to make it darker even sooner. So I don't know how to do that. So let's see if we can. There we go. No. Let's see, is there a way? I thought you could adjust the level right there, but it doesn't look like I can. This seems to be the. I guess we'll do that. That's fine. All right. So if we play that,
in the studio, and we'll have a great old time. Thanks. Bye.
there. All right. So now we got our video. It's edited. We don't need to put anything else on there. I mean, we could put a title up and all that, which we will want to do. But I want to make those a bit consistent. In this case, we're just kind of putting something up. So now I'm ready to export it. So I will make sure that this is selected, because if you have, or actually first, before we do that, let's get our transcription. So if you click on the text menu up here and then click transcribe, it will take the audio and give us our transcription, which we'll use to create more content from this video. For example, with the horse dance video, I'm going to pull that content. I've pulled the transcription from that video, and we can combine all of this to make some ebooks, to make some other videos, combine content, to pull specific pieces. We can go back to this video because we'll have the timestamps with all of them, with all of everything, with the text in the transcription. So we can pull specific bits from it, highlights as well. So that's going to go for a little bit. I'll let that transcribe, and I will be right back. All right, it is transcribed, and now we see everything there. So we'll want to export that, and we just hit the three dots, export, and then I like to export it as a text file. You can do it as a CSV if you want. I don't. I've done it as both. I haven't found a reason to do it as a CSV. It would make sense to do it if we're doing it for capturing data. Um, but I haven't really found a reason to do that yet. But it's an option. So now we got a transcript. So what I was saying before about making sure that this is selected, if we have this selected on the export, I don't know so much about the transcript, but if this is selected on the export, it'll export the whole video as opposed to this selection here. So what we want to do is make sure that our timeline is selected, and then come up to export, and we can kind of double check if we look at the time stamp. So it says 8:25, which is not the original time of like 9:33 or something like that. So we're safe. And you can see at the start, I'm walking in there versus what it was before. So if we look at this, we can change the file name. We don't want to call it unedited anymore because it's edited. So we'll just call it front demonstration. This is the location. It's going to stay the same as the last place you used it. I'm going to keep it that way. That way I know where it's going all the time. And then there are some settings in here that you may need to adjust. I had to once when I had a longer file, and I had to do something with the audio codecs or something. I don't remember. It was a long time ago. But just a heads up, if you run into issues, it's not necessarily your fault. So we hit export, and then it will export. And depending on the time, this is under 10 minutes, so it's not going to take a super long time. But if you've got some longer ones, it may take 45 minutes. Depending on what you're working with. I know I've certainly spent more than 15 minutes, more than 30 minutes for it to export before. Excuse me. But if you're just doing small files like this, it's short videos, under 10 minutes. It's not a huge amount of time. So we'll let that go. But while that's going, I'll just show you over here. I don't think I can actually get into it, but on the right-hand side, you'll see some slides. And these are images that you can save templates into your essential graphics library. You may be able to see the text up here. But you can save just templates to put on there. So a while ago, when I was first making some videos, I was using this card that had the address, or has the address for the studio. And I was putting that at the end of all the videos I was making for a series. And you can see that the format is in that vertical format. So I was putting it on phone videos, but I think you could put that on anything and just resize it. So I could put it onto this if I wanted to. I don't want to. And then this was another example of one. I was going to do a series of nature walk videos. So this was going to be the slide that went on a lot of those. All right. So the video was exported successfully. So we'll go to it. There we go. So we'll open this up and see what it looks like.
Hello, my name is Andre Maurice Davis, and just between your easily as it was underneath for your thighs. To us over here at Mandala Sun, we're happy to walk you through anything, or come on down to the studio and we'll have a great old time. Thanks. Bye.
Sure. All right, so that video is done. So if you want to save it, you can save it. I typically don't save these because when you save these projects, it keeps the location to all the files that are in there. So if you end up moving files in between projects, then you're going to break the links, and it gets a hassle. I haven't been working on that many big projects. When I work in FL Studio, for example, making music, I will save those files because I want to go back and be able to adjust them. With a lot of these, I haven't done anything where I want to necessarily go back and do a lot of adjustment, so I don't typically save them. I was saving them, and then I realized I'd never go back and change them. So you can save them. Just hit Control S or use the saving up here. Whoops, file, save. I'm just gonna close it. Don't save. Don't save. All right, so there's a video. I want to drop that up here. We'll drop it into the file here. Oh no, how big is that? 10 minutes? Huh. I gotta make some shorter videos for that, I guess. All right, so, but we will put that into our Google Drive. There, horse stance demonstration and front stance demonstration. We'll let that upload. And we'll wrap this up. So if you have any questions or want to go over anything or want the source files or whatever, yeah, let me know what else you'd want to know about editing. That's basically what I do. When I do my edits, there are images that we can mess around with, and we can learn other stuff together, like the little animations and text and all that stuff. Absolutely. But yeah, just let me know, and also share what you've got. Post up some videos in here or whatever you want to do. All right, talk to you later. Bye.